you so much. Hey everyone, welcome to today's AGC exclusive Discord Stages event, which is going to be tackling um, mental health. So, I'm the Carly Cat. I'm one of the Alpha Guardians, and I'm here with Bianca and Pia. The three of us actually host a podcast together. It's a Spotify original called Between Us Queens, and we talk mostly about women empowerment and women centered topics. And we are very, very happy to be a part of the Alpha Girls community. And of course, we do have our team members on stage as well. Thank you so much for inviting us to do this today.
Yes, thank you so much. Hello everyone, to everyone who's here. This is my first time actually attending an event like this. So thank you for having me, and we're super duper excited to share with all of you you know, our thoughts on mental health, because I know we are going through a lot with the pandemic, and we're excited to share with you.
P, I don't know if you're talking, but
Yeah,
we can't hear you right now.
yes, we can.
I see your face lighting up though.
Yeah. Volume, maybe? Oh, anyway, she'll try again.
Yeah, I
All
think
right.
she's just trying to figure it out.
Yes, we're obviously noobs in this in this area of technology. Please bear with us, everyone.
Yeah, okay, she's gonna try to come back in and
Mm,
hopefully that works as soon as she
yes,
steps up on stage once again. So we
yes.
now have 126 alphas in the audience. Oh, we are so excited to talk to all of you. If you do have any questions, you can go ahead and drop those questions in the AMA channel as well. We're gonna try to answer as many as possible.
Mm, definitely. Hola
I
to
guess
all the alphas. Yes.
I guess we
Where
can
shall
do
we
like
start?
our individual introductions first more.
Sure, sure. All right, I can begin with that.
Yeah.
So, hi everyone. My name is Bianca, but you, as you just heard, Carla called me Mar. I actually go by two names, Marian, Bianca. It's a whole thing. It all originates from pageantry. So Carla, Pia, and I all met while joining a beauty pageant here in the Philippines. We joined the national competition called Binibining Pilipinas. I competed in 2014. All of us competed in 2014, and at that year, I won the Binibining Pilipinas, which means Miss Philippines, basically translated. I won the Miss Philippines International crown. I know to a lot of you that sounds like gibberish, but here in the Philippines, here in the Philippines, we have a culture of really looking up to beauty queens. It's pageantry, I think, is very much integrated into our culture. Every little town that celebrates a what we call a fiesta or a feast, they usually have a pageant anyway. So yeah, we all joined the national pageant, and that's how we met. And we became really, really good friends. And you wouldn't think that you would meet one of your bestest friends in a beauty pageant. Stories, you know how it is. Beauty pageants, girls there are catty, girls there are out to get one another. I mean, I'm not going to deny the fact that it is a competitive environment. And of course, there are, little things here and there, but mostly, really, it was a celebration of sisterhood. And again, I found two of my lifelong sisters there. And I think that's why we wanted to continue with our friendship, and not just, just hanging out, but we wanted to be productive about it, because with pageantry, I lost. I went to Miss International in Japan. Pia and Carla both went to support me. I completely lost. It was a devastating loss. I was the first Miss Philippines candidate that did not get into the top 10 in about like what 4 or 5 years. So that it was depressing to say the least. I doubted myself. I doubted my worth, you know. But these girls, they were always with me. And as, you know, I healed and moved forward, I think we just naturally wanted to find a way to help other girls who've also experienced the same kind of challenges, maybe not in the beauty pageant world, but in life in general, when you have these expectations and you have these standards or other people's standards that you feel that you have to conform to, and how that takes a toll on your mental health when, of course, eventually you will fail these standards, especially if they're not, you know, your standards. So, or if they're not realistic standards. And Between the Screens helped us, our podcast helped us kind of dissect, you know, those things, the issues that we go through, not just as beauty queens, but as women in general, and all the challenges that that comes with. So, yeah, that's a little introduction to me and why we started the podcast and why mental health is an important topic for us.
Thank you, Mar, for sharing all of that. That's such a great way to explain how everything came to be. I just want to check if Pia's all good, set up.
No, no.
We still can't hear you.
All right. Maybe Carla, while
Yeah,
Pia's
okay.
trying to figure out.
I guess it's my turn. All
Yes, it
right.
is.
So, in the NFT world, I'm called the Carly Cat, and it's actually my IGN, and it carried over to my NFT persona. I am from the Philippines, and I worked as a sportscaster for most of my life. I was covering several national and international sporting events for about 8 years. And then when the pandemic happened, I just lost my job just like that. So it was quite a challenging time for me because I didn't know what was next. I
Hello.
thought that I was Oh, there we
Oh,
go.
there she is. We hear you.
Oh my gosh,
It
finally.
works.
Sorry, sorry,
We
sorry.
hear you.
Okay, please continue and then I'll jump in after your thought.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay. All right. Mine is going to be quite quick. So I didn't know what to do next. So I just had to do soul searching and trying to figure out the things that I was passionate about. And I was really lucky that I had Bianca and Pia as my support system because they were very much willing to explore new things with me. And that's another reason why the podcast came to be. And it's just been it's just been a tool that's really helped me get by in the past years that I'm working on something that has a bigger purpose, which is to really empower women, as many women as possible. And actually, even men have reached out saying that our podcast has helped them as well try to understand where we're coming from as women.
Mhm.
So that it's really special to me when we get feedback and when the community really reaches out to us. We've already been
Mhm.
able to build a community of more than 7,000 people with the podcast alone. So that's something we're really happy about. And I'm thankful that Bianca and Pia were also very willing to enter the NFT space with me, especially with the Alpha Girl Club, because they're doing amazing things. I really believe in the art, the team, and the mission when it comes to promoting mental health. So I think that it's just a great way and a great partnership for us to continue to do good, even here in the metaverse. So that's me. I'll let Pia take the floor. I know a lot of you are very excited to hear from her.
Hi everyone. I'm sorry for the technical difficulties that I went through earlier. I thought I was ready and I had the headset on, but I'm I clearly I didn't know how to navigate Discord on mobile. But we're here now. So anyway, I'm Pia, guys. I was Miss Universe back in 2015. And for those of you that are listening who are not pageant fans and are wondering, okay, 2015, it was that year where Steve Harvey made the mistake. So if you guys remember that, where they announced the wrong winner and then said, "Oh no, it's not actually Miss Colombia, it's Miss Philippines." So that was me, Philippines. So that was that year. So anyway, I like what Carla and Mar said, we all competed in the same competition back in 2014, and we just have this bond. We ended up still being friends up to this day. We working on many projects together. Aside from the podcast, we're also it's still in the works, but it's launching very soon. We got some amazing and exciting things lined up for our community. Uh, I'm really excited to be here and to talk with you guys and to connect with, like-minded people in the NFT space, especially projects that empower women. This is something that the three of us we support. We love supporting projects like this. I am very new to the NFT space. It was actually Carla who introduced me to it, and I'm still learning. But I I love that. Aside from collecting art, yes, of course, you also get to support projects that have plans, and that want to empower women in the space. And this is the first time I'm doing, that we're doing sort of like a talk on Discord. So this is fun. And um, mental health it is one of our advocacies. It is one of my advocacies too, personally, because a few years ago, actually during my reign as Miss Universe, I was diagnosed with generalized anxiety disorder and depression. At a time where you thought that, she must be, living her best life right now. But I was actually going through a lot um, privately during that time. But it took me a long time to finally be able to open up and talk about it comfortably in public. I have a TEDx talk coming out in December where I go deeper into this like story of mine, and I'm excited for other people to see that, watch that, and hopefully learn from me sharing my experience. Um, but I'm also excited to share this space with you guys, girls, ladies. I mean, well, no, actually, I mean like alphas, all alphas.
Alphas. Yeah.
Oh,
Yes,
yes. I
yes.
feel like we're recording a podcast episode
I
live
know.
right now.
I know.
So yeah,
So,
basically, if you listen to our podcast, this is basically how it goes. Anyways, go Carla.
Yeah.
yeah, no, I was just gonna say that we also wanted to share with you our personal stories when it comes to our mental health and
Mm-hmm.
why. I mean, we've touched on why it's special to us, but we really believe in the power of shared experiences. So we love
Mm-hmm.
sharing our story and we love hearing your stories as well. So we've been doing the Alpha Girls stories campaign the past few days. So I've read some of the things that you've written, and it's just amazing to see so many strong people all in one, all in one community. And I just want to say that this space has been really inspiring. So
Mm-hmm.
that's the next thing that we'll do. We'll share our personal stories when it comes to our mental health.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to go first, Bianca?
I guess yes. Well, I did talk a little bit about, just going. I wouldn't say depression. I am very careful about using that term, but I've gone through a not so a healthy phase of my mental health after I lost the international pageant. All that pressure, um, all all those expectations, it really came crashing down when I wasn't called in the finals. And I think it took me some time to accept that not winning the title didn't mean that I was not enough as a person, or that I would not, it felt like that I would never succeed anymore because of that failure. And I think what, it became a bit, I became scared to kind of show the outside world um, my flaws after that. So I became very guarded in social media with people that I meet. I wanted to maintain this image of I'm perfect or I'm okay, I'm all good, And I think that took a toll on me. And I realized that I needed to talk about it and not just keep it within myself, because I do have a tendency. I don't know if you girls, type of person that when I'm going through something, I kind of think that I can do it on my own and I don't want to bother anyone else with it. And through the years of just keeping it in and pretending that everything's okay, that I'm happy, that, losing the international title, I pretended that that was nothing for me, even though it was a big deal. And going on pretending like that just ate at me day after day, night after night. Something that I would think about when I would sleep. I would escape into anything. I would escape into alcohol. I would escape into TV series. I mean, sometimes you don't think that TV series are harmful, but they are, especially if you, with Netflix and all the content that is available. It's so easy to escape into, little multiple worlds one after the other, just so you don't have to deal with your own world. And after all of that, I realized that that wasn't healthy. That wasn't something that I could continue to do. I realized that I would break very, very soon. So thankfully, I had my friends around me who just kept reminding me that I should just go forward. And all I had to do was to tell them what I was feeling, and to sometimes I wouldn't even tell them exactly what had happened, just that I was feeling a certain way, and they'd be there for me. And I put my energy into doing things that were bigger than myself. I went before getting into pageantry. I was working for a non-governmental organization, and I was in the humanitarian field, and it was something that I've always felt like was a part of me. And after the pageant, I lost that. I lost sight of that, and then I realized that to get back to myself, I had to go into that again. So I volunteered in different organizations. I volunteered for a rescued pit bull center. I volunteered for HIV awareness. I volunteered for children's causes. And I realized that focusing on something greater than myself, a cause greater than myself, really, really, really helped my mental health. Um, just it just just reminding yourself that you are not alone, and that your community is there for you, and that your community counts on you as well. Those things really help me in my own mental health journey. And again, another reason why Between Us Queens and being part of this group, this community with the Alpha Girls, when Carla was talking to me about it, I thought this is beautiful. okay, I'm gonna be honest. You guys might persecute me, but I am one of those people who I'm very, very wary of the metaverse. To be completely honest, I'm kind of scared of what's going on, and um, but with NFTs and with this kind of NFTs, with this kind of community, it I thought that it would take people away from connecting with each other, but now seeing how this particular community interacts with each other, I realize that it actually brings people closer together. It actually makes more connections. It makes connections that, are not affected by distance or culture or language even. Of course, a little bit of language, but online we can definitely mitigate that easier than it would be on person to person, and these kinds of connections I feel are so 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 important for mental health. That's why I want to keep capitalizing on that, not capitalizing but focusing on that, moving forward. So yeah, that's it. That's my very 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 long story.
Not at all. There's so many takeaways from your experience. I mean, it's a pageant experience, but I feel like a lot of people can relate in a sense that, we've all gone through failures in our life and we've all
Mhm.
felt the same way. So I think that your advice about just going out there and doing something that is bigger
Yeah.
than yourself
Mhm.
actually really helping you. I think that was beautiful advice.
I
So,
really believe in it. Thanks.
yeah, thank you. Emma, okay, I'll share my story as well. So, when I was growing up, I was a student athlete. I was playing badminton for the national team while simultaneously juggling school and then eventually pageantry. I was trying to do so many things at once. And I felt like I grew up with a lot of pressure. Here in the Philippines, I feel like, well, not really. It's not really a thing for everyone. I guess it's like an Asian thing where grades are like super, super, super important and play a big role in our lives. Like
Mhm.
my personal experience, like my parents had no chill when it came to my grades. So I felt like I always carried a lot of pressure in everything that I was doing. And I was on a competitive stage as well. So that added to it. And I always wanted to be winning. I always wanted to be the best honor student, gold medalist, winner of my pageant. And I felt like that took kind of a negative toll on me once I started working because I just had so much anxiety. And I felt like I found a space where I really belonged, which was in the world of sports. But then when that was taken away from me, I realized that a lot of pressure was also taken away because, in a sense, I was always looking ahead like, what am I going to do next? What's my next goal? How do I achieve it? But then, with all the uncertainty that came during the pandemic, I was just forced to live in the moment. Like I couldn't plan for anything because we didn't know what was going to happen in the next week and the next month. And that was actually kind of a silver lining for me. Even if it was a difficult time, I felt like it gave me time to just reflect on that pressure that I've been carrying my whole life, all the anxiety. And I realized that I really had to work on myself. And I realized that I really needed to be a lot kinder. Like, why am I putting all this pressure when I can just breathe? I can just learn to love who I am right now and work with that. So that is my current journey. I can't say that I've found a solution because I'm still kind of struggling with it.
Mhm.
I'm better in a sense that my anxiety used to manifest in ways that, like, I would have to wash my hands all the time until like my hands would bleed and things like that. But then Um, Now it's gotten better, and I'm super, super happy that I got involved in podcasting and in the NFT space because they both have a lot of community aspects to it. And it's so nice to be able to talk about it and to hear people going through the same thing and sharing stories and knowing that I'm not alone. Another thing that I struggled with was that we don't really have a lot of access to mental health help here in the Philippines. When I felt like I needed to talk to someone to seek professional help, I didn't know where to go.
Mhm.
So I talked to my parents about it, and because people aren't so open minded about it, they were kind of just like, get over it. um, I feel like we're still in the process of being more open about our mental health, but I'm happy to see that there are more organizations that are working on that to make it more accessible, more affordable, because I know that more than ever, people need to know that it's okay to talk to someone. And I'm just happy that we have the space to do this right now. So that's my
Definitely.
story. I'm looking at the voice text and I'm seeing the messages saying you can talk to us here and everything. And that really makes me feel um so thankful that I have another safe space in this Alpha Girl Club family.
Wait, where is the text space? I'm not seeing anything.
It's it's on voice text
Okay,
above the
voice
Alpha
text.
page.
I
Yeah.
see. Okay, I'm gonna try to find it because I'm on mobile. Okay, trying to find it. I was like, I want to see people's reaction, but okay.
Me too. I've been looking.
Okay, so I will share more about my experience. Um, wait, Carla. Wait, you're done, Carla, right?
I'm done, I'm
Sorry.
done, I'm done.
Okay, just checking. Just checking. We're always like this. We're awkward like this, guys. We're
Oh,
awkward like this.
like I'm still anxious in a sense that if like it just happened earlier. So I was messaging Pia and I was seeing like she was reading the messages and I was super panicking. Like, are you mad at me?
Yeah, she was like, "Are you mad at me? I'm sorry I fell asleep last night." And then I sent her a funny emoji saying, "I'm so mad right now."
I'm
Of course I'm not
like
mad.
I'm such a stressed out person. I need to learn how to chill. That is all.
Yeah, we all have our moments, guys. So,
Yeah.
I well, as I mentioned earlier, I'll start from the very beginning and I'll try to keep it concise and short. I had a very interesting childhood. My parents separated when I was 9, and then when I was 11, I was discovered to be like casted, sorry. I was casted to be a model, and then like a kid model, and then when I started earning from that, I quickly became the breadwinner of my family. So at 11, I started doing modeling and a little bit of acting. And that was helping, pay for the bills and my schooling and my sister's schooling. So it was just me, myself, and oh, it's me, my sister, myself, and my mom, because my dad left. So it was like I was balancing schooling and that. So in the weekends, I would do shoots and you know TV work and whatnot, and then on the weekdays, I would be at school. So I felt a lot of pressure from a young age, and I felt like I didn't really get to enjoy so much of my childhood because I spent a lot of my time worrying about my performance because if you don't do well, then you're not gonna get a next time, and if you don't have a next time, how are you gonna pay for food and gas and electricity and all that. So um so we were really struggling for a long time, and then in my 20s, I was still trying to be an actress. I swear, like, it was, when I say trying to be an actress, like, wasn't fully an actress because I was always just playing small roles. And I was doing a lot of that, and then I also got into, you know, troubled relationships. So it was like a struggle, just so challenging. And then I found pageantry. I was in the Philippines at, well, yes, it was in the Philippines. My family were all in the UK. They were, busy with their lives. And I was in the Philippines, and then I decided to join Binibining Pilipinas, or Miss Philippines. That's what it means. That's the direct translation. So it gave me something to focus on. It gave me something to do. It was the only time in my life where I felt like I had a shot at something, that I had, like people saw the potential in me, and then that gave me hope and confidence. And I felt like, okay, if my mentors think that I can do this, then maybe I can. And then so I just kept, I put all my time and my energy into it. I know it sounds like pageants are very shallow, guys, especially to the ones that are listening who don't really follow pageants, because you only see
Yeah.
the pageant night. But then it's really a lot of training and a lot of preparation before that night that you see on TV. We
Yeah.
are training for months.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you are doing it full time, and in culture in the Philippines, there's so much pressure to do it, do it
Yeah,
well.
especially in the
And
Philippines.
yeah, especially in the Philippines. When Bianca mentioned earlier about like how, she didn't get into the top 5, and that didn't happen, and the girls before her always made it to top 10. Sorry, top 10. It might not sound like a big deal, but to us, it feels like I might as well not go back home to the Philippines if I'm not going to win the crown.
Yep.
Like, you know, it was that kind. The whole country is looking and watching at you and just waiting. There's so much pressure. We are like athletes, guys. We are. That's how it
It's
feels
true.
like. I
It
wish you
feels
guys would
that
like,
way.
after this, please just like Google a little bit about it to see how crazy it is back home. I mean, it's a good and a bad thing, right?
Yes,
Um,
it's a good and a bad thing. Yeah.
yeah, it's a good and a bad thing. But so I competed, and then I lost the first time, and then I joined the second time. I lost again, and then I joined again the third time. So I kept on trying it. I joined 3 years in a row. Um, so you could say that I was, doing pageants for, I was like, like high school. I was doing it for years, and I was doing it full time, and I just kept on trying because I felt like I didn't have anything to fall back on anyway. So I was like, well, I'm already here. I'll just keep trying until I age out. When I say age out, until I like reach the age limit, and then I can't join anymore. So anyway, on my third year,
Mm.
uh, I got it. I got Miss Philippines, which meant that I would go to Miss Universe, and it was still a lot of pressure going doing that, because again, if you can just imagine, the all eyes on you, people are waiting for you to make a mistake, and um, it's with how pageants are crazy, with how crazy pageants are in the Philippines. Can you imagine, like, the girls before me all placed at the top 5, so everybody would be a runner up, and then it was my turn. So I always felt like runner up or crown, or no going back to the Philippines. It was like, it's either I runner up, I win, or I'm never going home again. That's it. So luckily, thankfully, I got it. But when you win, that doesn't really mask all the things that you're going through internally, because I did have like a challenging childhood. So I was carrying all of that internally while trying to, be Miss Universe, while trying to make everybody proud, while trying to please everyone. I sort of neglected myself for a long time. So I really, really relate to what Carla said also, where you kind of put just your feelings aside, or you overwork yourself thinking that you are doing well, but you're actually just distracting yourself from facing that you're sad, that you're not okay. So I can relate to that. Um, so that's why during the year that I was Miss Universe, that's when I was diagnosed. I never saw a psychiatrist before that. And what happens when you win Miss Universe? They actually give you a psychiatrist regardless of how you won. Even if the host didn't make a mistake, they'll still give you one, because it's not a normal thing to just, for your life to change overnight. So they're really good like that, where they provide some help just to help you, absorb everything in a healthy way. But it was during those sessions when I found out, oh, I had a lot of baggage. I had a lot of things. I was going through a lot. And then I was diagnosed and they took care of me. And that's when I realized, how come this isn't talked about more? How come I had to, go to America to get help or find out that I needed help? Like, I feel like there's really still so much work that needs to be done back home in the Philippines when it comes to mental health. There's still so much stigma around it. You can't, uh, like, for those who are living in the US or living in the Europe, because you have resources. But back home, there's still so much, there are barriers that are available, first of all. And if you talk to your family or friends about it, they'll just tell you to snap out of it, or worse, they'll just call you quote unquote crazy or whatever. So, um, so that's why we love supporting, projects like this, because I I am not a success story. I don't think I am like, oh, look at me. I went, I surpassed all of that already. I feel like I'm still a work in progress every day. I still have to um, balance myself. I still have to, you know, practice
Well,
having boundaries and that. So
I
I,
think,
yeah, go
sorry,
ahead.
I just want to interject. Like, I think with mental health, the fact that you working on it, that's already a success story. That's all you can really hope for. Because we're always going to have challenges. We're always going to have, you know, that thing that's going to eat at us, or that issue that's going to, you know, harm us. But being aware of it and knowing that you're working on it, that in itself is already a success, in my opinion.
Oh, thank you. I feel really grateful that I have you, that I have Carla. Like, I have a small, very small, like, I can count how many, like, with just my one hand. There's very only a few of you that I trust completely. But even though I don't open up to everybody about this, I feel like
Mhm.
opened up to the right people about it. That's the
Yes.
important thing. And I I'm very new to the NFT space, actually, but when I found out that there were projects that support this, and then that I could be a part of it and join that conversation and do something like this, it just made it more meaningful, you know?
Mhm.
And yeah, it's great to be here. I'm gonna try to see if I can read any of the comments.
I've been quiet because I've just been like reading everyone's comments. It's so fun.
While
So
while
hi
you guys are
guys.
going through the voice text channel, we actually asked everyone to send over any questions they might have in the AMA channel. So I'm just gonna go through it and see which questions we can answer, and we also have some questions
Yes.
for the team. So yeah, let's go
Yes.
through um our
Yes. We're
alpha's
beauty queens.
questions.
We love answering questions.
Mm.
Thank
Do
you for
we?
that wonderful question. I guess it depends on what question. Like, I hate answering, if you were a flower, what would you be and why? I
Yeah.
don't know.
Like
I
we
don't
I
prepared
haven't
know.
thought about
so
that.
hard for this, and then we get this random question.
Mm.
Oh,
All
they're
right.
asking
So
what is our podcast called? Check us out on Spotify. It's called Between Us Queens. Between Us Queens. People give us like people say that it's grammatically incorrect because there's like three of us, but I don't know. Between Us Queens, it's not about the three of us. It's between us queens
you and
and
me.
the listeners. There you go. Yeah. So yeah, between us queens.
I like that
Yes.
too. Before anyone brings it up. That's the
Yeah.
explanation.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So the first question that we are answering is from Alpha Hot Dog Sandwich asking, what are the best ways to mitigate anxiety and stress? So I just want to put out
Mm.
a disclaimer that these are just our experiences and the things that work for us.
Yes, we are not
Um,
We are
experts.
not
yeah, we are
experts.
not
We are not
experts.
doctors.
Mm-hmm.
For me,
For
it's for me it's really setting systems instead of goals because I realize that if I'm looking at things from a goal perspective, then I'm always like on the losing end, you know?
mm,
Like if I say I want to lose 30 pounds and I lose 20 pounds, I've still failed to reach my goal. So instead, I've been trying to implement system setting where I set healthy routines and habits that work for me so that
mhm,
I'm
mhm,
celebrating every step of my journey. So the goal kind of serves just like a general guide, but I'm not thinking about it too much. And I
mhm,
feel like that has really helped with my anxiety because that was my problem before. As I shared earlier, I was always looking ahead, looking ahead. What can I do? Like I need to achieve this, but I wasn't
mhm,
celebrating the little wins.
mhm,
And some of the other things that work for me, I exercise. I get really lazy at times, but whenever I do get a workout in, I feel like I feel great for the rest of the
Mm.
day.
Yeah.
mhm.
And
Those
yeah.
endorphins you get from a workout, they're real. I mean, I know doing the workout is like it's hard. I know,
Yeah.
but the rewards after are, it just feels really good, you know, and it's so good for you, for
That's
so good
Tagalog,
for
my
your
bad.
mental health.
But yeah, yeah, that's true. I love what Carla said. Systems, put up systems, and I guess that's the same as like having a routine. You gotta find your groove. Like only you can figure that out. Like what are the things? How do you want to feel every day in the morning? Should you put on music? What kind of music? Like I realized that taking care of your mental health is it's effortful. It is something that you do with purpose. It doesn't just happen. You got to put thought. You got to put thought into that. Tama like not tama. Sorry, speaking Tagalog. My bad. That's right. Um, systems really do help, and like I said, also kanina, friends. Always, 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 always talk to someone, no matter what. And personally, I have dogs, and obviously, I think you can probably hear one of them now. Arf, arf. They have helped me completely. Like, without them, I don't think I would have survived this pandemic. And this pandemic, I'm just kidding. No, my husband did too, but my dogs mostly. But but yeah, find that thing that works for you. I think it's very important, and you got to actively look for it. You got to actively find it because nothing is free, nothing is easy.
But people are asking for doggo pictures.
On that,
Yeah.
oh no, I don't have pictures on this on the iPad, but I will send later on after this. I promise. I promise. I have many pictures. Ikaw, P,
What
how do you cope
uh,
or
okay.
manage your anxiety?
I there are a few things. I am an overthinker, so writing down my thoughts and making lists helped me a lot. So whenever
Mm,
I
mhm,
have,
mhm,
'cause sometimes I'll just have an idea or I'll have a thought, and then if I don't
mhm,
write it down, it feels like they're just in my head and it's a mess. So
mhm,
I need to
mhm,
write it down, and it just helps
mhm,
me understand and absorb things better. It also helps me look at it and be like, wait, is this really something I should be worrying about? Is this something that I should probably not put so much of my, time into? Maybe I'm just overthinking. It just helps me stay more grounded and balanced. So I like to write my thoughts down. I agree that I am not consistent at it, I admit, but doing some light physical activity at least helps. Putting your phone down, I think, also is important. Knowing when, because we live in our phones nowadays, and me too. Sometimes my screen time is 12 hours. Sometimes, like especially with Zoom meetings and doing everything online, doing all your work online, it's so easy to just sit on your screen the whole day. But you need to be able to to disconnect and look outside, like look around you, and if you can go outside, um, take that space to just take that time to just breathe. um, I also I like I mentioned before, I don't have a big group of, so I only have a handful of them that I really really trust, but I speak to them on the regular. And if that's something that works for you, surround yourself with people that are good for you, that you trust, that make you happy, that make you laugh. um yeah, I think those are the things that work for me. I also feel really good when I do things like this, like talking about mental health or volunteering, or just lending my time to causes. It really helps because then it takes me away from myself, if you know what I mean. Like,
Yes,
it takes me
definitely.
away from myself. Yeah.
Yeah, I get that. Um, we sorry, are those all the tips, P?
Sorry, someone was at the door. Yeah, I think that would be sorry. Yeah, I think that's it. Yes, yes.
Yeah. The next question is for you from Gigi, asking, how do you feel your experience on mental health? Nakakahiya, which means it's seen as shameful, and our reluctance and even talking about it with the older generations.
Sorry, can you repeat the question? Because it was just a little choppy when you were speaking.
No, just
Hello?
how did your experiences with Filipino culture stance on mental health, where it's still seen by some people as shameful, or people are reluctant to talk about it, especially with the older generations?
Uh, I mean, let's admit that it is a problem. It is really a problem. I mean, I think it's clearly it's a problem because I didn't go to my mom first before going to my friends. That in itself I knew. I mean, it's not because my mom is like a terrible person. Of course not. I just knew that she wouldn't understand, or that maybe she would worry for me. Sometimes you just need to decompress. Sometimes you just need to let it out. And so I get what you mean by, especially with the older generation, not really understanding, and it's so easy for some of them to just go, oh, you're just overreacting, or you're just making a big deal out of a little thing, or you just snap out of it. We really have so much more work to do, but I feel like the Gen Zers and the millennials, the newer generation, are more aware and are more vocal. And I think we're headed to the right direction anyway, even though we're going at a slow pace. But I mean, that's why we're doing things like this. That's why we're talking about it. That's also why I felt like, even though it took me a long time, imagine it's been almost 6 years since I won Miss Universe, and I'm only talking about my personal experience now, is because of that. Exactly. It also took me this long because I was scared that I would disappoint. I was scared that I would be judged. I was scared that people would see me as, just overreacting or being ungrateful or making us big thing out of a small thing. All of those things bothered me, and I was like, okay, maybe I'll just keep this to myself because I don't need the extra drama. But then, what the pandemic taught me is that what is all of this for? What's all of these followers for if I'm not going to use them? What's this community for? What's this podcast for? Like, what is all of this for if I'm not going to utilize it for something important? If I'm sorry to be okay, I don't want to be morbid here, but life is so short, and if something happens to me, I want to at least leave a positive impact on someone somewhere somehow by sharing my story. And if me opening about my mental health is something that would impact somebody, maybe I don't even know this person, but at least impact their lives, then that's more than enough for me, and I
Yeah.
thank you.
Good.
I think that ending the stigma around mental health is really
Yep.
kind of a generational thing.
Yep.
So now that our generation is very much open, we have more resources, we learn more about ourselves. And I guess
Mhm.
these are resources that the older generation didn't have. I guess it's our
Absolutely.
job to kind of educate the older generation, and to teach our children, the next generation, that it's
Yeah,
completely okay to talk about it. I think that the
definitely.
movement is has definitely started, and I think
Mhm.
it's up to our individual efforts to be able
Mhm.
to spread more awareness about the cause.
Definitely. And I know we gotta pray for patience, especially when it comes to educating our boomer generation. But they've had their own coping mechanisms, and as dysfunctional as some of them might be, that's all they had. And I guess we're just fortunate enough that we have the information now, more information now that they did back then. And like Carla said, we do have the responsibility of future generations and making sure that we don't perpetuate those unhealthy coping mechanisms, unhealthy practices, unhealthy ways of, relating or communicating with each other, especially family members. Another thing that I just wanted to point out, like what Pia said a while ago when she said that, she was thinking about, what is all this for? What is all the followers for? I think that's a question that any person kind of gets to, like whatever your job is, whatever you're doing in your life, and you're thinking, what's all this for? What Pia did is to put meaning to it. She decided what the meaning was. And I think that's also like another important tip is you got to look at your life and you got to find meaning to it. And you can't expect anyone else to do that for you. You have to be the one to find that. So just checking your values, checking what's important to you, and then finding meaning into everything. Like you might be a school bus driver and you might think, what's the meaning in my life as a school bus driver? But you have the meaning to your life is to be able to transport these children safely to school and to have a good life. Like you have to really find that meaning. But yeah, I was just thinking about it. That was just like a brain fart of it. But yeah.
Yeah, I completely agree with finding purpose in the little things as well. I think it's really mindfulness. It's something that's practiced. It doesn't come
Mhm.
along easily. You need to really work on that.
Like
So
anything
I
in
just
life.
Yes, exactly. And we got a lot of questions, and we promised that if we don't get to answer them now, we're going to hop on and just type
Mhm.
out our answers.
Yes.
We also have a lot of questions for the team, and P actually has another talk coming up
Mhm.
with WWF. So P, I just wanted to ask if you had any final messages for
Mhm.
for our alphas before you go?
Um, okay, you guys can hear me, right?
Yes.
Can
Yes, we
you?
can.
Okay, okay,
Good.
just checking. So, I first of all, I want to thank you everyone for being so open to like tuning in and listening to us. I am so sure that more than half of our audience today are not pageant fans, which is great, which is a great and refreshing thing for us. But thank you for giving us the time to share our stories, for not judging us right away. Because, you know, when I introduce myself to somebody who's not in the pageant space and I say, oh, I was Miss Universe, in 2015, I I think in my head I wish that this person is secretly not thinking that this is all I am. You know what I mean? So but you guys tuned in, and thank you for listening, and thank you for letting us share. Thank you to the alphas for welcoming us to the community. I can see the community is growing each and every day. Um, it's so nice to be part of this family. I hope that we grow bigger and bigger, and then that. And I'm excited to see what else is in store, to be part of future projects that you guys are gonna do, and just thank you so much. And I hope to connect with you guys and to keep learning from you, keep learning about how we can make this a better and safer space for everyone. And of course, and to also learn more about NFTs and how we can just make this a place where we can empower each other.
Thanks, P, and good luck with your
Thank,
next talk.
thank you
Thank you,
guys.
Pia.
Thank you so much.